While casually scrolling through Twitter, this one particular tweet caught our attention, which said for the first time in decades, the United States Treasury is set to initiate a buyback of US government debt in 2023. This coincides with an increasing global trend of more and more countries looking to conduct trade in their local currencies and accumulate gold reserves. This is indeed wild in terms of timing and confirmed suspicions. This won't make any sense now, so let's start with a brief explanation about how the US government, Treasury, and Fed work together. The US government needs money to pay for the budget deficit. When they need money, they ask the Treasury Department to create special papers called bonds. The US Federal Reserve helps to sell these bonds to the investors. In the next 18 months, $11 trillion worth of issued bonds will mature, which brings us to the present. As a result, the Treasury Department must pay this amount or roll it over by issuing new bonds. Due to the de-dollarization effect, demand for dollar reserves and subsequent investment in US treasuries is decreasing. This is why the entire $11 trillion will not be rolled over and a portion of it will be retired. The US government's decision to retire a portion of the maturing bonds comes at a crucial time when the debt ceiling is a topic of heated debate among policymakers. Basically, the US debt ceiling is a law that limits how much money the US government can borrow. It's kind of like a credit limit on a credit card. The debt ceiling is a big deal because if the government can't borrow any more money, it might not be able to pay for everything it needs to. Congress has authorized trillions of dollars in spending over the last decade, causing the United States debt to nearly triple since 2009. In 2023, President Joe Biden said he will settle for nothing less than a no-strings-attached increase in limit, which has been opposed by the Republicans, saying that the debt should be reduced. The opposition's opinion has been summarized by Senator McCarthy in the best way possible. If you gave your child a credit card and they kept hitting the limit, you wouldn't just keep increasing it. You would sit down with them to identify where they are overspending and where they can change their behavior. The current problem is that US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said that the country could reach the debt limit as early as June 1. This would immediately halt nearly 1/10 of all economic activity in the United States. Now, this buyback is an option for the government to reduce its outstanding debt in one last desperate attempt to save the economy from hitting that ceiling, which would spell disaster for the US and worldwide economies. Even if the government does not default, exceeding the debt ceiling would limit the government's capacity to fund its operations, such as providing for national defense or funding benefits such as Medicare or Social Security. The upcoming decision by the US government on whether or not to buy back its outstanding debt will be crucial in preventing a potential financial disaster. It remains to be seen how policymakers will address this issue, but one thing is for sure, the stakes are high and the world will be watching closely. That's all from our side. If you liked the content, do hit that subscribe button to stay tuned with our upcoming videos.